Good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the December town meeting. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Mike Rambrose, President and CEO here at Whitney Center. I want to welcome you all. We're not going to have a long town meeting this morning because we want to get through the business of the town meeting and then move to a budget presentation that Jeff Devaney, our Vice President for Finance, did with me last year, and we're going to do that again this year for discuss the upcoming budget for those of you who are interested in that sort of thing. And so we're going to do that immediately after this town meeting. Okay, so first I'd like to just welcome some new residents since we last met. Mrs. Linda Cantor in apartment 545B, Mrs. Martha Moskowitz in apartment 344, and Mrs. Elaine Wyden in apartment 500B, who will be moving in on December 29th. So if you see them, please do welcome them. I'd like to have Maria Lasala, our spiritual care coordinator, come on up and open the meeting.
Good morning, friends. I'm Maria Lasala, the Spiritual Care Coordinator, and it's always good to be with you as we gather to hear about our life in this community. You know, this past week has been a very busy week as Whitney Center residents and friends have come together to celebrate the holidays of the season. Hanukkah candles are brightly shining all over the Whitney Center community. Latkes and donuts and music filled this space on Friday evening as we welcomed the Sabbath, and then again on Tuesday, bringing friends together around tables. And on Sunday evening, many gathered in this space to hear the Christmas story, the story of a baby born to frightened parents in the cold of night, with angels and shepherds coming to visit. We sang Christmas carols and enjoyed the company of friends, new and old. I want you to know that recordings of both Friday's Hanukkah service and Sunday's Christmas lessons and carols will be shown on Channel 102 this coming Sunday. I invite you to look to the calendar for the details of what time they will air. You know, Hanukkah and Christmas are holidays in which we celebrate light shining in the darkness. Oil meant to last just one night lasts for 8. A star shining brightly in the night sky above a stable in Bethlehem, drawing some shepherds and angels toward a young couple with a newborn baby. And Kwanzaa, another week-long celebration of light, begins on December 26th, offering African American families an opportunity to light candles, giving thanks for family, community, and culture. And yesterday was the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year and the longest night. You know, darkness will linger a bit more for the next few weeks, but ever so slowly more light will fill the sky. You know as well as I that even amidst the joy and wonder of this holiday season, we notice the struggles that some in our community face. For some, these days may also bring moments of sadness and loneliness. But I see how, with great compassion, this community cares for one another. I invite you to take good care of yourselves. Breathe to restore any calm. Listen to music so that your spirits are uplifted. Carry a photo of a loved one that will soothe you when you are feeling most upset. Since our last town meeting, 4 lights of the Whitney Center have dimmed. So we remember today Health Center resident Elizabeth Mettler and our friends Catherine Petroni, Marjorie Askenase, and Vicki Blank. I invite you to join me in a moment of thankfulness for their lives lived among us. Whitney Center, we are a strong community who care for one another in ways that are big and in ways that are small. I know you join me in welcoming the light as it begins to emerge in the darkness and seeing how it will shine in the new year to come. Thank you for all you do to make this place a place of welcome, of joy, of hope, and of strength. I offer my best wishes to you during this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I'd like to ask Ms. Lynn Hawkins to come on up on behalf of the Residents' Council. Mrs. Hawkins is our new president of the council. Congratulations and welcome.
Maria complimented our community, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we enjoy in our community. We have the art gallery on Main Street, films that are shown periodically, concerts on Sundays, lectures on Mondays, and all these things don't just happen magically. And they're also not produced by the administration. We do it, the committees do it. And so all I'm going to say is that I urge you to look at the committee list. I'm actually holding it so I don't forget. That's sort of opposite the mail room. And think about what you might be interested in doing to contribute to the things that we enjoy all over the community. And that's my message. Get involved, be part of it, keep it going. And if a committee chair or person says, come join the lecture committee, I know you know people in the Yale community or Central that you could contact and pull in, do it, join. In ending, I'd like to introduce the new vice president of the Residents' Council, John Tully, who is sitting right over there. John, you can stand up. Yeah. We haven't finished the tasks of the Residents' Council yet, but perhaps at the next town meeting, those other positions will be announced. Thank you very much, and join in.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay, so we're going to move forward with our team reports. We're going to start with Peggy Joyce, our Vice President for Clinical Services, followed by Ken and his team for Lifestyle.
Good morning, everyone. I have great news. I think I sent out yesterday, there's an update on K4, letting you know that we have done very well getting through the month of November and December with all the respiratory illnesses that are out in the community. Since November 1st, we've only had 3 cases of COVID amongst residents, and they all got through that and are doing well. We have had 2 cases in November, 1 was in December, for a total of 3. So for the whole month of December, we've only had 1 incident, which I think is phenomenal. You probably are seeing that COVID is on the rise. So of course, my message to all of you today is I really want you to enjoy the holiday season with friends and family, because for 2 years we were pretty much lipped up where we couldn't do that. But just be cautious. If you're with a large group, wear a mask to protect yourself. But do enjoy. You've all done such a great job minimizing COVID in our community. We have had 2 cases of flu so far since the beginning of the season. Both of those cases were actually diagnosed with the 2 residents in the hospital. They did not necessarily go out because of flu, but while they were in the hospital, they did diagnose flu. And both of those residents are doing well. So just to let you know, we've done great, but COVID is really out there. New Haven County, the numbers are creeping up. Connecticut, the numbers again are creeping up. But I think we all are educated enough now to know how COVID works. The colder weather does bring the virus out. It likes cold. So unfortunately, coldness continues to perpetuate this virus. I had a question from a resident about when our next booster is. We don't have any plans at this point because you also want to leave some space between the boosters so your body builds up immunity. Actually getting too many boosters is not good. If you're concerned, because it's not even been 2 months yet, and again, 2 months is always the minimum amount of time between boosters. If you have concerns for yourself, please reach out to your physician and get their advice as to whether or not you should get it before we offer another clinic, which will probably be sometime near the end of the first quarter. I don't have a date yet because, again, there's been no recommendations by CDC or DPH to get another booster. And that's the guidance we follow. Any questions on COVID or respiratory illnesses? Okay. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. Just a couple other quick things. Dr. Jensicki, for those of you that have been going to the Wellness Center to see him for your foot care, he's one of our 2 podiatrists, actually sent me a letter the end of last week saying effective immediately he will no longer be able to provide that service to our community. I have reached out to him to find out, if I do believe he does have an office on Dixwell Avenue. I do believe he's still seeing clients there. I don't think he's retired, but I'm trying to find out exactly, what he's available for. But we do have another wonderful podiatrist that started with us several years ago, Dr. Pappas. So she will still be on campus to provide your podiatric care. So if you'd like her number, I can get that for you. The community health nurses can give it to you, and you can schedule an appointment for a visit right here at Whitney Center for her services. And then lastly, just a quick update. I know people are always curious about Meadow Mills. It's going wonderfully now that we've been there not quite 2 months, October 31st. So the December 31st, we'll have been in the building for 2 months. We've gotten to know most of the residents. We've been meeting with we're almost done with all the family meetings. So we've gotten to know a lot of people in a very short amount of time. As I mentioned last time, our biggest focus has been workforce. We're trying to hire CNAs in particular. They were down quite a few, but we've been successful chopping away at that goal. We've hired several full-time people, a lot of per diem CNAs, so we're getting there. So the staffing is definitely improving. Nurses continue to be a challenge. We are still looking for several nurses for the weekends, as well as several more CNAs. The other departments seem to be doing well with staffing. So again, we're having a good time there. After New Year's, we're hoping that we can start offering tours to all of you to come in if you'd like to tour, because I know there's a lot of curiosity. We've been working with the families up on our 6th floor, and many of them have already toured Meadow Mills and have been extremely pleased with what they've seen. So I'm very excited about this additional service for our community. So again, keep your eyes out. We'll let you all come over and tour around and see what it's all about, so you can feel it and witness it firsthand. Any other clinical questions for me? All right, everybody have wonderful holidays with your friends and family, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Peggy. My name's Ken Sandberg. I'm the Vice President of our Lifestyle Services. So I've got a couple of updates for you today. First, I'll start with the message that I placed out yesterday about some storminess coming our way. So I can't help myself, but I love watching the weather. In fact, my family calls me Storm. My daughter goes to school in Syracuse, New York, and I have an app of the weather there, and I always tell her if it's going to rain, if it's going to snow. So you get the point how much I actually do love the weather. Although, and I used to love the snow until I started working at Whitney Center. Because when there's snow, you know what happens? We got to move all those cars. We got to clear out the roadways. And Dan used to love the snow too, but not anymore. So anyway, so we have a storm coming, and last week when I was following it, because as you know, with the forecasting now, it can actually go out about 2 weeks. So they were watching this storm last week, and initially though, it was supposed to be a big snowstorm. I'm really happy it's not a snowstorm. However, there is going to be some damaging wind coming our way. There could be a flash freeze. So the team's getting ready for that, for possible power outages. That's why we get this message out to you, so you can all prepare for that as well. So just want to make sure that you got the message. The wind's going to be pretty strong tomorrow morning. If you're going, I would be very careful going out tomorrow. If you have any errands, do them today. If you have a chance to. So that's one thing I really wanted to update you all on. The other thing is, as Mike said, I oversee lifestyles, and lifestyles department, lifestyle services consists of 3 major departments: dining services, resident services, and facilities. And facilities is part of maintenance, and it's part of the housekeeping as well. And what we're always trying to do is evaluate our operations and take a look at how effective we are in our service delivery to you, our programs, and how effective are we operating. And I'm taking an opportunity now as we move into 2023 to make some changes. So I want to announce those changes today, so you're all aware of those. And if anything, these changes will actually enhance your experiences. So the first change is going to be Maria Frater. She's actually moving over into a role of Community Engagement Coordinator. And she's going to come up right after me and expand a little bit more on her new role, which we're very excited about. But primarily, Maria will be focused in on innovative programs and really intentionally extending our reach out into the community, which she already has started with. With Maria moving over into that new role, Melissa DeGrand will be reporting directly to me, and Melissa will be overseeing our reception area, our front desk. She'll be overseeing the scheduling of events, and she'll also be overseeing transportation. So working very closely with Melissa in that role. And then finally, a couple more changes. Dan Zullo will be leading a new department. So what we're doing is we're taking our current security team and our maintenance team, and we're blending them together. And we're creating a new department called Building Operations and Safety. And Dan will be leading that department. And so the reason why we're doing that is this really expands our ability for a broader 24/7 experience on the campus from a maintenance and a safety perspective. So we really believe by combining those 2 departments, we can provide better service delivery to all of you and operate more effectively and efficiently. And Dan's going to come up in a few minutes as well and speak a little bit more to that. There's going to be no change in how you contact these departments for services. For example, transportation, you'll still dial 848-2608. For safety, you'll still dial 848-2699. So we're trying to minimize the impact on you, but behind the scenes, we're trying to make our service delivery just more effective in combining departments. Additionally, with Melissa picking up the transportation aspect, we took a look at her role and really, again, looking at how we operate, where the spa, which Melissa was currently overseeing, we're actually moving over into our enrichment services team. And that's going to be specifically led by Robert Schmelzer. The spa service closely aligns with the enrichment team's focus on well-being. So you'll see some changes coming into 2023. So we'll be going through a transition in January with these departments. And again, if anything, the impact to you should be from a positive perspective, but we will be around evaluating how the changes are moving, how they're going. But I've been working quite a while with this team on these changes, probably for the last 6 months behind the scenes, really talking to the team members, looking at our operations and how we can really operate more effectively while providing service delivery to you and improving the service delivery to you. Yes?
Are you saying that Rob is in charge of finding the next manicurist?
So it's not just Rob. We don't work in isolation. So actually, Rob's working with Melissa and Michelle Pandolfi, too, who oversees enrichment services. So, and I think that's an important point. We don't work in isolation in this organization. We really do work with each other. There's a lot of cross-departmental supports that are going on. Yes, yes. Yeah. And Melissa, I see you standing up. Yeah.
I just wondered, for transportation, who will we be speaking to? You gave us a number, but who will be the person?
So it's going to be going back to the front desks, the reception areas.
So Gil is not doing it anymore?
Gil that won't be his primary responsibility. Gil's going to stay within the transportation, but he's going to be doing more driving. And so all the calls will be going to the front desk because there's a lot of coordination there. There's a synergy between the transportation and the reception areas, and that's one of the reasons why we made this change. So everybody knows where I'm at. You know my email, you know my phone number. So as we move into January, as these changes take effect, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me as we go through this transition. But I'm just very proud of the team, the work that has been done behind the scenes to get us ready for this change for 2023. So yes, Mrs. Greenbaum. Yeah, so the numbers have not changed. So for transportation, it's 848-2608. Oh, sorry. 260. I think I was giving them Jeff's number. Jeff's going to handle your transportation. See, this is how efficient and effective we're getting. The finance guy is going to handle your transportation. Thank you for that reminder. It's 848-2607 is transportation. And this, for safety concerns, it's 848-2699. And that's for real emergencies. We want you to call the 2699. Yes.
Good morning. I'm sorry I was a little late, so I missed the very beginning of this transformation. And I wanted to know if you had mentioned or will be mentioning the sort of upheaval that's going on in housekeeping. You never know who's going to show up. And
Yeah. So we're, the housekeeper was not part of this report, but I do know that we're in the process of hiring new staff. We have some temporary staff, and so we are doing some substitutions until we can get ourselves fully staffed. So the expectation should be the same regarding the housekeeper, and if it's not, that's something we have to talk about for the training. But the expectation should be the same. But we are in the process of hiring and getting our staff, housekeeping staff, fully up to speed. So thank you. So I'm going to call up Maria Freda.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Ken. And welcome, of course, to our newest residents. I am Maria Freda, and as you learned, I am transitioning from Director of Resident Services to Whitney Center's Community Engagement Coordinator, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be in this role. As the Community Engagement Coordinator, I will work to provide all Whitney Center customers with engaging experiences that inspire new interests and nurture new relationships, because so much of programming is about social interactions and exchanging of new ideas. My commitment to you is to provide innovative, entertaining, and unique events on and off campus that are meant to support the amazing work done by our resident committees. Thank you,
Lynn for mentioning all that happens here. Basically, as the coordinator, the engagement coordinator, I'm going to kind of fill in the gaps and all of those pauses when a resident committee event isn't happening and kind of pick up where they leave off. I'm also looking forward to collaborating with the community resource team, as well as with Karen Russell's team and the Health Center for sharing ideas and building upon the fabulous programs that they've created and what's here. So this is all just, leaps forward and going ahead, thinking a little bit more outside the box, raising the bar a bit as well, too. And I'm also going to spend time off campus connecting with local and national academic institutions, museums, and performing art organizations to establish opportunities for internships as well as volunteer programs and presentation series. In fact, I'm already onto something thanks to Susan Meredith, who connected me with docents at Margaret Mann, a lead docent or chief docent at the Center of British Art. I learned that the Center for British Art is going to be closing for a while because they're installing new skylights. However, we have an invitation now, and I'll be coordinating with the center for private tours, behind-the-scene tours, for groups as small as only 12 at a time to visit. But the other exciting thing is through our conversations, what's happening is we're talking about having curators from the Center of British Art to come here for a visiting curator series, which will be wonderful. And both the Yale Gallery and the Center for British Art have very extensive programs for Alzheimer's and dementia. So we're also going to be talking with them and getting our program started. They were thrilled to hear about Meadow Mills. So that's really an exciting step. And that's more of what I hope to do as well. I'm also planning to expand Whitney Center's resources and add more sites like Seventh Art Productions. In fact, today, if you haven't seen it on the digital displays or in K4, today at 2 o'clock, I'll be showing Van Gogh and Japan at 2 p.m. And this is a documentary that features how Van Gogh's encounter with Japanese artworks gave his work a new and exciting direction. Nothing will make me happier than to bring the world to Whitney Center. But for right now, the farthest we're going to get to go on December 28th is Old Lyme, Connecticut, to the Florence Griswold Museum. I have 5 tickets available for the Flows Tea. And I know that many of you may be thinking, oh, you know what, I've been there, I've seen that, done that. But like any museum, any concert, any performance, each time, whether it be your first, your second, third, you always see something you have not seen before. So please think about it. I have 5 tickets left. And everyone who has gone has absolutely loved it. But now you'll have a chance to go with some other people, maybe see something different. The museum isn't always the same. And you know from 7th Avenue Arts Production, the Griswold Museum has one of the finest American Impressionist collections. So that also will happen. It's not just a tea, it's also a docent tour. So please let me know if you come. And also, again, speaking of seeing things over and over again, the Yale Concert Series, which many of you have been to and still love going back to, will be happening again in January, and we will be providing transportation to the Brentano String Quartet on January 24th, Philharmonia on January 27th. Melvin Chen will be performing with Horowitz Series on January 18th. And then, of course, the Met Live production of Fedora on January 14th. Many of you are subscription holders, but if you don't have your ticket and you do need help, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help you purchase them online. And speaking of one thing that we always do, at least once a year, is celebrate New Year's. So just a reminder, we are bringing in the new year in with Molly Ryan on New Year's Eve on December 31st, starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Molly and her fabulous quintet will be here. And please be ready to dance. We've got a dance floor coming, and so it promises to be an absolutely wonderful evening. So that's all I have to report. I know I'm promising you the world, but I think you deserve that. So does anybody have any questions? And I am going to be calling on all of you. You all have such wonderful ideas. I mean, one of our greatest resources is this community, are our residents. So whether it's an idea of a place to go or something you'd like to talk about or something that you want to do. I see Steve Gurney. He loves his music. So we're here to create new programs as well. So I'm here to serve at the pleasure of all of you. So please don't hesitate to ask. And I know there's somebody else we do have a question.
Not a question, it's a compliment. You haven't
Yes.
mentioned the two programs that you've started that seem to be taking off. The bingo, which is weekly.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
got my detergent there, a big bottle of it. I won.
Yes.
And you should mention the great music video thing that we did yesterday that has started out for memory people, but
Yes.
I believe should be open to everybody.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that endorsement. Yes, Marilyn is right. Bingo is back. I know for the longest time, it's like we're Whitney Center, we don't do bingo. But let me tell you, it has been fabulous. I mean, I know I upped the ante a little bit by having prizes like red, rosé, and white. So if that works for you, if that's all you need to come here and sit. Statistics show bingo has a lot of benefits, not just the social benefit, but it's hand-eye, memory coordination, all of those things that go with it. But most importantly, it is the social. I mean, there were two residents here who have never met before, and they've lived here a while, but they got together because of bingo. Please come. And yes, I will be opening up the doors and the doors have always been open for this music program. It's coming in here and just being happy and having a great time. One of the reasons why, and I'll be really honest, I started this music program for the health center and for memory support, was that often when we had the more formal programs, people, residents from the health center and memory support were going to come in later. And yes, I'm not saying they were a distraction, but for some they were. This is an opportunity. You come into a show, to an event, anytime you want. It doesn't matter. It's all inclusive. And even our aides are engaged with the program. And it's kind of just letting your hair down and be you. So thank you. And Marilyn was in here yesterday. Who else was in here? Mrs. Irish, Ali Poole. I mean, it was an incredible, and everybody leaves a lot better after coming in and leaving. Even our staff has been dancing, even thanks to Terry Rio. She's leading conga lines, whatever it takes. So it will be on the schedule. I just don't have a set time, as well as bingo. But look forward to 2023 for a lot of new things. And so as I started to say, without further ado, another person who just loves being here and helping all of you is Dan Zullo, keeping you warm. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Dan Zullo for you who do not know me, and I will be a member now of the new Building Operations and Safety team. Real quick, I wanted to talk a little bit about what Ken started on in snow removal and ice. We ask that you walk slow, take it slow when you're outside. Sometimes it takes us a couple hours to, move some things around when we're in the middle of a storm. Please do not walk behind our snowplows. Sometimes we can't always see you if it's snowing hard, and we can't really see in the mirrors all that well. Please try to walk in front of us, or at least a farther enough distance behind us that we won't miss each other. Also, our K4 and Channel 102 videos that have been posted, I've received a ton of feedback. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of work that goes into those. Nick Riccardi and IT has spent a lot of time helping us with those. So the positivity that's come of that, the comments of how you've learned new things, that makes it all worth it. And I appreciate that, and they're meant to educate. They're meant to make the building better. I'm going to talk now about the Building Operations and Safety team and how we're going to move forward with that. We want to grow people. We want to grow the team. We want to grow skill sets and knowledge. How we're going to do that is from training, education. we're going to get everybody together and we're going to enhance some of the trainings and education they might have already had. Or we're going to do new trainings, new educations. That's only going to build the skill sets that is going to make this building better. It's going to enhance those people. They have more knowledge to answer questions or to deal with situations. And that's kind of the goal of this whole thing. After hours, many of you know security sometimes comes into your apartments to check out your heater before the maintenance on-call person is called. This will enhance some of that knowledge so that it'll be more streamlined and the communication will be more streamlined between the current security department and the maintenance team. As we go along, this is new. This is exciting. This is an opportunity to really kind of dive into where we can maybe find gaps, fill gaps, different things like that. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really optimistic about it. Ken and I have been speaking about this for a while, and he's much more of an optimistic person than I am. But I'm excited about it, and I hope that you all will continue your support of us as we move through this, and as you have with the maintenance department and myself. Are there any questions? Thank you. I'm going to introduce now Thomas Hudson, Director of Dining.
Good morning, everyone. I think for the first time in history, we'll have to change a statement about last but not least. I think in this case, it is last and definitely least after hearing about the changes taking place in our department. I'm very proud of the movements, and I want to congratulate Melissa and Maria and Dan on that. So, having said that, and in the interest of time, I would never bore you with such mundane updates about food and beverage. So I came with a blank paper. What I'd like to do is share with you that this year has been a year of tremendous challenge for us in dining. However, with the challenges we have managed somehow to get to this point at the end of the year, and we're all still here and looking forward to a new year. What I'd like to do is I'm currently working with my team on what 2023 looks like from a visionary point of view, and how that vision translates into what we do, how we do it, and what it actually looks like for you, our residents. What I'm intending to do is to present a document that will outline what our plans are. I think we deserve to have a look at 2022 in review, what we achieved, what were our challenges, and how we're going to go forward, and what are the programs, what are the interests, what are the new items that we're introducing for 2023. So I'm hoping that you hold me to that. I'm hoping to present that within the first week, by very latest the second week of January. And what I'm really looking for is not just your acceptance of it, but I'm looking for your partnership. I'm asking you to look at what we're doing. Contact me by phone, contact me by email, give me your thoughts, your ideas. So our plan for 2023 in dining across the board, and this involves every aspect and every area that we work in, is built not just on our perspective, but on yours also. I think in the past we have spent a lot of time doing a lot of things ourselves, and I want to make sure that 2023 is not just a successful year, but it's a year of inclusion. And you, the residents, are probably the most important part of that. We've had a great year despite the challenges. We've had moments of anxiety and moments when we thought things wouldn't happen or couldn't happen, but I just want to say thank you for allowing us to continue what we do and to continue to partner with us and hopefully we can have a more, what's the word? Fruitful? Does fruitful work? A fruitful 2023 where dining is concerned. We want to make sure that we are tapping into what your satisfaction looks like. So there's going to be a wide variety of new programs involved. There's going to be some conversations, there's going to be meetings, and there's going to be a lot of feedback that we'll be looking from the residents. So I'm asking for your support, I'm asking for your guidance, I'm asking for your partnership, and please look out for all the information. It'll be quite a handful, but I'm hoping that it's worthwhile reading and working with. So without going into any details, which would take me an hour and a half, I want to ask, is there any particular questions that anyone has in regards to the year gone, year ahead, anything?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why is the grill not open on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in the bistro?
Why is it? Okay. So
It's
the grill, when we reopened the grill, we reopened it at a strain. We did not have the staffing to run both the grill and the rest of the service in the bistro. So 4 days out of the week, we actually have sufficient staff. We don't have it right now for the entire week. So we had to choose 3 days that we were able to close the grill and not provide that service.
You seem to have the same staff all the time there, pretty
we-
much in the bistro.
It may appear so, but we don't, sir. There are a certain number of people we need to run the service at night, and we don't have that every day of the week. So what we do have and what you would not see is we operate in this way, where we try to not show everything that we're dealing with behind the scenes. So we try to do things without your knowledge so that you can still get that service, but we don't have the full team to do it. So a lot of the times the managers may be involved in that in order to make something happen.
Well, the bistro, in the bistro, it's an important thing to keep my protein up. And I can order hamburgers and stuff like that build up the amount of protein I eat per day. And it seems like such a simple thing to end up with the grill open. Because the grill, I can order hamburgers and things of that nature. And it limits my ability to add protein easily to my diet.
I appreciate that, sir, and as soon as possible, we're going to have all 7 days open.
Hi, I hope in your planning for '23 that you'll be thinking about making the pub a pub, perhaps with a little pub food, and making the dining room a dining room. Because right now, the pub is no longer a pub. It's just this morass of food and a few drinks. It's important, I think, for it to be a real pub. And it's important for the dining room not to be so empty.
Well, let me address that very, very quickly. We're going through some transitions where the dining room is concerned, which will be outlaid in the plan that I've said I will put forward. There have been a lot of changes in what people want to eat. And it's our obligation and responsibility to make that available. The pub has become a popular place. It's an easy atmosphere, and a lot of people are choosing that venue as opposed to others.
Only because that's their only choice. Only because that's their only choice.
So what we will do, we can have a conversation about that in more detail at the next dining committee. But before we even get to that committee, you will see what our intentions are and how things are going to play out. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, so just to go on with that discussion a little bit, Thomas, the great success of the champagne tasting and the large crowd that was there. I hope that you were there, and obviously you were there, looking at that and trying to figure out a way to duplicate that in our eating experiences. Because I thought it was wonderful how many people were there, stayed through the tasting. A lot of people stayed then through the dinner also. So, I mean, the success of it, obviously looks to me like something you need to be duplicating for us. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. The tastings are not just a tasting. They're always a learning experience for me and my team. What we do exactly what you're asking of me. We look at the things we taste. We look at the popularity of the evening. We look at how people are behaving and what satisfies them in that moment. So it is a part of our planning. We're looking forward to how we're gonna do things like that more and attract more people to the different venues through events, through interaction, and that sort of thing. It's a thought, and nothing is off the table. But as I said, we're working through what each venue will identify itself as, and that'll be very clear in the new year.
Would you just clarify something for me? We are expecting, weather permitting, family to join us Christmas Day for lunch in the bistro. And it says that it's going to be the regular lunch service, but there's no grill, you're saying, Christmas Day.
The Christmas Day is a Sunday. So no. So it will have the regular buffet there. But we do have our special lunch in Center Stage at the same time.
What? Yeah, no. So what kind of menu will they have then, just to pick from?
I don't have the menu yet. The menu normally comes out on a Thursday, a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then we put it out on K4. Because it's a Sunday, it's a changing of the week. I'm going to try to do it a little earlier, and most likely this afternoon.
Okay.
So the menu for the buffet will be out as soon as I can get it today. Yes, ma'am.
You said earlier that the problem was one of you didn't have the staff. I wondered whether that is a matter of budget, the difficulty of finding people. I mean, how would you explain why you can't have more staff?
Well, the word is not can't. The entire nation has suffered a staffing shortage through this entire year. Now, COVID, it's unfortunate that we still have to use the word COVID in a lot of explanations, but we would be naive to think that it didn't have a marked effect on what we're dealing with even now. People and the staffing world has a much wider bucket of choice now. People have decided to change their careers. People have decided they want more out of a job. People are looking for different places to work. It is not very easy to just, as we used to do, see someone, hire someone, and get them in the door. So the process takes a little more intensity than it used to. Now, our organization has tried its best to adjust as we go along to the staffing market, but we are still met with some difficulties. So it's not easy to get chefs in when we want them in. So we keep trying. I have a couple people in the pipeline right now, and so I'm hopeful that by the early January we should be out of that particular situation in the bistro. But it has not been a lack of trying. The whole organization has really been trying, and we share this issue with almost any organization you could go through, and any field or industry. There is a shortage of staffing because people have changed how they think about work and when they want to work and where they want to work. So we are just, what Whitney Center is doing is we are focusing our attention on what our employee experience looks like. So that we are not only keeping on to the people we have, but we're attracting others also. So we're looking for a different movement in 2023 where staffing is concerned. That is our hope. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I was enjoying my time here. I wanted to stay. Listen, as always, it's a pleasure to serve you all. I wish you a wonderful Christmas and a great start to the new year. Let us be safe. Let us sip our champagne in moderation. And I'll see you all on the other side of the year. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Terry Rio, Director of Philanthropy, and I'm going to invite Sanshere Figueroa to come up and join me. Everybody knows Sanshere, right? Hi. The reason we did that, we want to announce the Fall Fun Raffle winners, in case you didn't see it on K4. And Sanshere last Thursday, it's hard to believe, a whole week, we were in the bistro, and she pulled out the winners from each. So I've asked her to please read the winners.
Yes, okay. So congratulations to everyone. We had our roaring crowd attend.
Yes, we did. We had a roaring crowd. Mr. Floyd Kaplan, woo-hoo, yay.
Okay. So for the gourmet dinner for 8 people, the winner was Leslie Sherwin.
Leslie's a new resident, and she has a big family, and they love to eat. So when Dr. Yadeau returns from his holiday, where incidentally he is making a big gourmet dinner for his family, we will get a date, and that will happen.
For the poetry book, Walking Naked Under a Yellow Rain Slicker, the winner was Debbie Kohlberg.
And Debbie's one of our liaisons. I will say what was great about this raffle is, staff pitched in as well, hoping to win. Mm-hmm. And so it was really nice. So Deb was a staff winner.
Okay. For dog sitting for one evening, Lucianne Koifman. And I hope I said it right. Custom made tongue twister, Meryl Menon. And the very popular hand woven throw, Irene Miller. So thank you to everyone who participated.
Yeah. Funny story.
It was fun.
It was great. Funny story on that. Irene lives near Lucienne, and she got a chance to pick one of the throws that Lucienne had offered 4, and she chose, it was a gray and cream one that looks beautiful in her bedroom.
So pretty.
Meryl Mannon is a good friend of Joan Wexler, so they're excited about having their conversation. So hopefully Meryl will share with us the tongue twister when it gets done. Just totally, we raised about $500 through this, and that was the first time we did something like this. So if you like it and you have ideas, some people have come to me with ideas that they want to give items or services for next time around, so we will look at that. And right now, our appeal letter has gone out for our year-end appeal. So if you've given, thank you so much. I will be sending out acknowledgement letters to you at the end of the month. If you still, are looking at it, please do. I'll take, the appeal will end in January. And you can join the board members, management team members, friends and family in our year-end appeal. So with that, we want to just say Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
And happy Kwanzaa.
And Happy New Year.
Yeah, see you on New Year's Eve.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. That about wraps us up. I do want to just make a couple of comments, kind of related to philanthropy. Recently, our organization received, I guess it's kind of an accreditation or a designation, actually, under something called Positive Approach to Care, and that was funded by our philanthropy dollars. And that is a movement to get our organization and our team members, our residents, Thrive at Home members, and ultimately our community better educated and better equipped to engage with our friends and neighbors and loved ones who are undergoing cognitive brain change. Folks with memory issues, dementia, all of the things associated with that. We want to be better prepared to engage with those folks, because as we see that more and more, we want to contribute to a much better experience for us all. And so we are now a designated organization, which is fantastic, because now we can sort of grow that effort. And I want to thank Terry and all of you who have contributed to our philanthropy efforts, because that was part of the funding for this past year. So it was a great achievement. I'm very proud of it. And I look forward to all the benefits that's going to come for that. I also want to touch on something that Thomas was kind of dancing around. I don't know if did he leave? Okay. And that is the whole workforce issue. And he's absolutely right. It's not for a lack of trying. It's not for a lack of creativity, and really trying to adapt to a entirely changing landscape of workforce, and how folks that are coming into the workforce, folks that have been here, are thinking about work. For example, we're running into more and more circumstances like, and this might sound very odd to you, where employees are dictating the schedules that they want to work. So, for example, in the healthcare field, we're seeing on-demand scheduling, where all the shifts are listed for a company, and a nurse or a CNA or someone with healthcare experience might pick this shift, that shift, as opposed to working a 40-hour work week. Much different environment, and all of these options are brought about and accelerated through COVID, through the remote working and the technology that is developed as a result of that. And so it's enabling all sorts of different approaches to work. Not only that, but we have to think about completely restructuring benefits and making sure not only that we remain competitive from a wage and salary perspective, but that we are offering a workplace where people feel connected and like they belong. These are much different pressures on employers these days, and so as we adapt, we are going to go through the pains of this kind of changing landscape. And so that's not an excuse as much as it is a statement of our reality in this country, and frankly, from a healthcare perspective, globally, we're seeing a shortage of healthcare workers. So, in as much as we're focused on the recruitment side, getting more people in, we're also focused on the retention side. That is, keeping the people that we want to stay here. We want them to stay, so we have to make sure that we're offering opportunities for them to grow and develop. And I think most importantly, we're focused on the relationships that are developed between colleagues, coworkers, and our team members and their supervisors. And so we're investing, with the help, again, of philanthropy, investing in leadership development and the skill sets that are necessary in this changing environment, in terms of how we lead, how we coach, how we manage all of the, the areas of running a place like Whitney Center. And these are skill sets that don't get taught in business school. They aren't traditionally sort of learned by experience, because, again, the landscape is changing. And so we just ask for your patience, your help, your cooperation as we navigate these waters, as we continue to navigate these waters. Okay? All right. Well, that wraps up our town meeting.